Hi, I'm Peter Burrell, the author of Marriage by the Book. I was recently on a podcast called Better Than Not, where we discussed that book and my book, Free of Judgment. Here's some clips. And so that's the idea, is when I center it on something deeper than my external physical features, walking according to the physical dictates, and I make it according to the internal, I can actually transform my life. And that's what we're supposed to live, these transformed life. Well, why do we live this life? So we can live a better life because God's all about me? No, it's because we, as a married couple, you are the image bearers of God. See, God doesn't, the devil doesn't give a rip about you and your wife. He hates the image of God, and he wants to cause division. So we're going to destroy what marriage means. We're going to destroy the meaning, who's involved in it. It's not personal. It's God. When God wanted to show the world what his love looked like, he used a marriage covenant to describe it. You're the bride of Christ.
Yes,
he used what was called in the Old Testament. Like if we look at times like Josephus wrote about the times of they refer to as Second Temple Judaism, when the Second Temple was built before it was destroyed in 70 AD by Titus and the Roman armies. He wrote about this time period, and he described Jewish life at that time. And Joe Armorall does a good study of that in ancient times. And he talks about what they refer to as the love covenant. And the love covenant was what a marriage covenant was. You know, our Bible's made up of covenants, right? Old, new, covenants between individuals. David and Jonathan, others had covenants. Cities had covenants, or tribes had covenants. Whatever. It's a primal promise, and it's deep seated, right? And it's also sealed with blood. Always, they would sacrifice an animal to seal it, right?
But I'm going through a Hebrews Bible study right now.
Beautiful.
Which is
awesome.
is exploding that concept in such a big way. I heard it the other day that if you want to get summary of the Old Testament, read Hebrews.
Totally.
And it was
because you'll get it from a new perspective, New Testament perspective, which is fabulous.
Goodness.
So you think about, so at that time, if you were to get married, you would have to go and you would meet with your wife's father. Okay, first you would sit there and you would work out the deals of the covenant, what you're going to present, what they think they should present, what they should give, what you should give, how it's going to work out, what kind of person you are, whether you fit with them. They're going to work it all out. And then in the next room would be the intended bride. So your wife at that time, the one you're after, she's going to be in the other room. Now, if the father gives you consent, you've worked out the terms, you're allowed to go and knock on her door. And if she opens it, she'll have prepared you a betrothal meal. And once you sup with her, you have that meal, you're legally bound now, basically under the law there. You're not married yet. You don't get all the benefits yet, but you're committed, right? You are betrothed, right? And so you'll read about all the Old Testament. My betrothed desires, right? So you're a promise to this person, and you'll leave a token of your goodwill and good intentions with her, right? And then off you'll go. You'll go back to your home, and you will now prepare a place for your bride. Your father will give you part of the house. You can add on to this part. You can build up here. You can extend over here. And you'll see all over Middle East. You'll see it in lots of countries. The son will add on for his bride, his future bride. They'll leave buildings with the rebar sticking out because they might add another story if the son gets married. He might be coming back there, right? So, and then when your dad thinks you've done enough because he's the experienced one, he's going to say to you, okay, son, go and get your bride. And you're going to, because it's about romance, it's a love story, you're going to stand outside her village and you're going to blow the shofar, the horn, the ram's horn. And you're going to make the sound of the horn. And she's going to be waiting for you. She doesn't know when you're coming, but when she hears that horn, she'll have been packed up, or she got her go bag already, and off she goes, and you'll go and you will consummate the marriage, right? And then you'll all have a party about 7 days long. They'll have a marriage, the supper of the marriage, both families, and it'll be a wonderful celebration. Okay, that's the love covenant described in the Jewish context of Second Temple Judaism. So when Jesus comes along and he says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone open, I will come in and sup with him." They're going, "Whoa, hang on a second. This guy's talking about a love covenant. This is not the God that we knew about."
Yes.
That they thought they knew. Fierce, righteous indignation and judgment, right? This is a loving God. This is different. And he says, well, where are you going? He says, where I go, you can't. Can we go? You can't come. Because I go to my Father's home, my Father's place, to prepare a place for you, that where I am, you may be also. This is what terminology is he using here. He said, okay, well, when will you come back? He says, it's not up for me to say. It's up to the Father. He'll tell me when it's time. He said, what will be the sign of your coming? There'll be the sound of a trumpet or a horn. You're going to hear the horn. And then what happens? The dead in Christ rise. Those that are alive and remaining will be caught up with them, right? There's like catching away of the church idea, right?
Yeah.
And so with the sound of the trumpet, and then we're going to have the 7-year wedding feast of the marriage supper of the Lamb. The whole thing is a marriage covenant. This is what God has used to describe his love for us, and you and your wife are representatives of that. Why do you think the enemy wants to disrupt that? Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you've got a question, post it or email me. There's a link below.